Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing an install of the Martin rack on my Tacoma double cab. It's pretty much a Prinsu Designs Martin rack. They're kind of the same thing. Very subtle little differences. Martin rack's cheaper, that's why I went with it. I really didn't need a roof rack, and then now I got a canoe that I put on top and really needed something for that coverage on the roof because I've actually dented it and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, we'll get into the rack. Here's all the pieces that they'll ship you. It's nice. This was only about a 2-week lead time versus I think the Prinsu's 5 to 6, 6 to 8, whatever they tell you. I don't know. One of the differences, obviously, this is their logo. Doesn't have the little Prinsu thing. But as you can see, everything else is very similar. One thing I noticed, the Prinsu crossbars have little things for your little eyelets to drop in. That's not a big deal for me. It comes with all your hardware. And everything you need besides a little bit of silicone to get it installed. So we'll get right to it. I apologize, it's a little windy out today, so audio may not be all that great. First things first, what I'm going to do, you can pull up this weather stripping. As you can see, I just kind of did it by hand. We're going to end up having to drill some holes in that so we can mount the rack through there. There's 3 spots like this along each roof rail. It's like a 3M tape. There's actually factory threaded holes here, and this is how they waterproof it. You can take something like a knife and kind of poke through, and what you'll see is there's threads in there, and that's what your rack's going to bolt to. The front and back, there's 2, and then there's 1 in the center here, and then 2 up front here. We got all of our threaded holes exposed on both sides. So to support the roof rack, you're gonna have to drill holes in your trim pieces here, your gutter trim. So this is what goes through it, and these will sit on top just like that, and then these will have to lay over and come through. So what we're gonna do here is set it like we're gonna put the trim back in place. And then kind of lift it up a little bit, and I'm going to take this paint marker and make a mark where I'm going to have to drill some holes, and then we'll take it in the garage and we'll go ahead and drill some holes. So these are the spacers for the roof rack, and I believe they're actually 3/4 diameter. But what I've picked up is 7/8, which is just slightly larger. And that's just to account for, obviously the holes aren't going to be drilled in the exact perfect spot. You're drilling through rubber with a metal insert. It's a little finicky. Also, what you see I've done here is I've glued a rubber washer to the bottom of the spacer. This is to prevent any leaks. Most people just glob a bunch of silicone around it. I'm really trying to avoid that. I'm going to put some silicone on the bolt before I put it in to help seal through the hole, but around the edges I'm not going to worry about it because I got these rubber washers. We got our trim piece in the garage. I actually have it upside down, and those marks I made on the face, which is right here, I transferred to the back side because inside of this strip there is a little tiny metal strip about as wide as that, and it's closer to this side. It's right below this line. So if you start drilling from the other side, it'll hit that metal strip and make the drill bit kick. But if you start from here, which is closer to it, you have a better chance of actually drilling right through the middle of that strip and causing it to break apart, which I will show you why that's a good thing here after we drill those holes. So I'm going to go through and drill a hole through each one of my pre-marked spots, and then I will take my paddle bit and use these as a pilot and do the same thing, and that will make the finished hole all the way through. As you can see, we got metal and rubber in our shavings here. So that says we hit the metal strip. We got our paddle bit in next. We're going to start drilling from the bottom just until the metal is exposed. So then we can clip it with these wire cutters and drill the rest of the hole. The sad truth about this is the holes are never going to be real pretty. I've tried this. I've done 2 other roof racks besides this with my buddy's trucks, and there's just no way around it. The holes are going to be a little sloppy. The best thing is about just keeping them center and where they're supposed to be marked. And you're not even really going to see them anyways. They're going to be under the feet of the rack. So, yeah. So as you see right there is that metal strip I was talking about. You can see our initial pilot hole drilled right through the center like we wanted. So now we can take some wire cutters and actually snip off the ends as close to the edge of the hole as we can. So that way our paddle bit can find its way the rest of the way through. We got all of our holes drilled in our gutter trim. Next we're gonna go ahead and start assembling the rack. Since it's just me, I may just put a front bar and a rear bar. I don't know, I might assemble it all and see how heavy it is, as you see if I can get up there without scratching the roof or anything. It'd be easier if I could get in the bed of the truck, but my camper shell's in the way. But first thing we're gonna do, so one of these crossbars has to go across on this front the wind deflector. There's a pack of bolts and lock washers and these little threaded tabs that slide into the top here. So you slide these in these rails on the corresponding to the holes on the windscreen. Then you bolt that to there, and then once that's bolted up, then there's holes on the front of your rack here. You can bolt it up to that, and then there's more hardware, and all these bolt all the way on down. So we'll go ahead and get it assembled. We got all of our bars bolted up. After I had them all loosely started, I've only tightened the front fairing and then this back bar. All these middle bars are still loose right now because I'm going to get them positioned and space them even once I get them up on the roof. Mainly because I need to be able to get to this bolt, and kind of where I'm going to want to position this one, it's going to cover that right up, and I just want some good access for that. And plus, I still don't know if I'm going to be able to get it up there with all the bars. They shouldn't make that much of a difference weight wise, but it's just kind of a big awkward thing to do alone. So next we're going to get our trim up there with all of our little cylinders that the rack will bolt on top of. We'll get that up on the truck, and then once that's all situated and it looks like everything lines up as far as the holes for the cylinders and the threaded holes in the truck, then we'll get this up there and we'll get it bolted down. So I've got both pieces of trim in with our cylinders and our rubber washers on the bottom side. Now I'm just kind of going through and making sure that they thread into the holes easy, because once I get the rack up there, it would suck to have to pull the rack back off just to come back and see if I could fix the threads to put them back in there. So just as long as they thread in easy, it should be all nice and lined up. Here it is all done. Got it all bolted up. Give you a few different angles here of it. Here's what you can expect it to look like when the bolts are all in. As you can see, that spacer sticking up above your trim. You can see it down through there. Got a little bit of a gap, but keeps it off the paint. And I guess I could move this fairing down one more notch. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get some weather stripping to put right here to kind of seal where this touches, and that should eliminate some noise. But definitely happy with it. As for the strength and whether you can mount a rooftop tent to it, here's me walking on it in the Crocs, of course. Bar's bend slightly, but plenty strong once it's all tied together, so pretty safe to, if you can strap it down up here, you can pretty much haul whatever with it. Alright guys, so that's it for this one. The Barton Rack / Prinsu install on a 2nd gen Tacoma should be pretty much exactly the same for a 3rd gen Tacoma. If you have an access cab, you're gonna have to drill some holes. I've never done that. I'm sure somebody's got a video of it online. But yeah, if this video helped you out, go ahead and subscribe. I do DIY videos, some camping videos kind of here and there. It seems like the DIY ones are more popular, and plus when I'm camping, I like to kind of just, you know, focus on camping. So yeah, go ahead and like, subscribe, share it, send it to your friends. I'll see you next time.